Shadows stretch across the red clay line. It's been a long year, but the crop turned fine. But the crop turned fine. I'm pulling burlap by the sorting shed. The sun is heavy, turning fire red. Turning fire red. My hands are stained by all the work I've done, just gathering the fruit of all the sun. It's the steady motion, it's the quiet sound of everything we're pulling from the ground. You don't have to hurry, you don't have to run. The work is waiting when the day is done. It's a generational rhythm, a slow turning hand, finding all the peace inside the land. I remember Daddy by the lantern glow, sorting out the harvest in a steady row. In a steady row. It's the same old wood, it's the same old grain, the same old labor through the heat and rain. Through the heat and rain. We're just the keepers of the pecan tree, holding on to history, keeping it free. So stack the sacks and turn the lantern down. There's a velvet stillness settling on the town. The earth is tired and I'm feeling fine, keeping the cycle in a straight set line. Nothing to worry, just the slow turning, whispered, just the work remains. The iron frame is rusting where it holds the sky. I watch the ivy climb where the swallows fly. I spent a lifetime trying to keep the rows all straight, pruning backness, carrying the weight. But the vines don't ask for permission to bloom. They're just filling the corners of this empty room. And the cracks in the glass let the morning in. It's where the letting go finally can begin. We don't need the structure, we don't need the wall to catch the light as it starts to fall. It's a beautiful ruin, it's a living breath, a little bit of life right in the face of death. The citrus tree is blooming in the cracked concrete, making something sacred of the summer heat. I used to call it wreckage. I used to see the beauty in the green and moss. You can't force the healing, you can't force the vine. You just have to give it the air and the time. the door open, let the garden in. Let the overgrowth cover where the scars have been. It's soft in the center, it's wild at the edge. Living in the shadow of the window ledge. Nothing is broken, it's just changed its way. It's just finding the light. Just finding the light.
Furnace hums a low and steady song before the sun has pulled the light along. I'm sweeping ash from off the cooling bench. The frost is biting through the window wrench. It takes a steady hand to hold the blow, to keep the fire dancing soft and slow. For things that break don't mean they've lost their use. They just hold a light that's finally got some loose. It isn't how you keep the edges straight. It isn't how you keep the edges straight. It's how you learn to carry all the weight. The heat don't just destroy the way it bends. It's where the hardness breaks and grace begins. I've seen the shards that gathered on the floor, pieces of what they couldn't be no more. But heat it up and turn the rod around and find a new shape where the cracks were found. You can't force the glass to be what it was then. You gotta wait for it to soft again. Let the amber fire fill the empty space. Time has a way of working through the haze. The imperfections let the morning in, showing where the ending might begin. It isn't how you keep the edges straight. It's how you learn to carry all the weight. Just turn it. The light is coming through the cracks. Indigo is pulling on the green, the widest space that I have ever seen. To come, the mud is settling beneath the tide, with nowhere left for all the salt to hide. The heron knows exactly where to stand. A living statue in the shifting sand. It's not a fire, it's not a sudden light, it's just the slow adjusting of the sight. The roots are taking hold while we are still, a gradual moving of the iron will. Everything here is breathing in its turn. There isn't any rush to watch it burn. The balance is returning to watch it burn. I've seen the marshland fail and then return, the lesson that the living have to learn. Have to learn. When all the water leaves the muddy track, it leaves the memory of the coming back. The air is heavy and the grass is thin, waiting for the high tide to begin. Balance isn't something that you find. It's just the clearing of the weary mind. It's just the slow adjusting of the sight. The roots are taking hold while we are still, a gradual moving of the iron will. Everything here is breathing in its turn. There isn't any rush to watch it burn. The balance is returning. Just let the water shift. Let the water shift. Sound of marsh wind through reeds fading into darkness.
Small suns in the basalt pools, caught before the deep pull. Anemone breath, violet green, holding to the rock we haven't seen. Salt on the tongue, time in the bone, stillness in the moving stone. The water draws back, the water returns. Not a lesson taught, just a fire that burns. Just a change of shape, a way to let go. Quiet in the center, steady in the flow. Limpid shells against the grain, counting the years of wind and rain. The kelp forests bend, but do not break. They drink from the shadow the tide will take. I watch the ghost light, I hear the swell. Silence is the story only rocks can tell. The water draws back, the water returns. Not a lesson taught, just a fire that burns. Just a change of shape, a way to let go. Quiet in the center, steady in the flow. Not absence, presence, not ending. Just the turn, just the deep turn. Steady in the flow. Just a change of shape. Take the blue from your Sunday shirt, take the brown from the fields of dirt. It's all just pieces of the years we spent, a patch for the labor, a patch for the rent. I'm pushing the needle through the center of the fold, keeping the story from growing too cold. Oh, stitch by stitch, it holds the line, your thread in the fabric, your pattern in mine. It ain't just a covering for the winter chill, it's the way that we're living, it's the way that we're still. What we build with our hands is the map of our soul, sewing the fragments to keep the heart whole. You can trace the velvet from a dress I wore, you can see the denim from the chore work floor, you can see the denim from the chore work floor. It's a map of the living, a cloth covered wall, catching the memory before it can fall. We're all just layers in the frame of the hall, watching the leaves start to turn and to fall, watching the leaves start to turn and to fall. Just tuck the corner, but the quilt is spread. Lay it out careful on the table of wood. It's the best of the living, and it's all of the good. Nothing is lost while the pattern remains. It's all held here, safe in the cloth.
Dust is just the earth that got tired of being stone. Human hands are just the wind when they're finally let alone. We spent 40 years building walls out of the red. Now the canyon's taking back the things we never said. There's a comfort in the way the edges start to blur, in the stillness of the way the world and waste occur. Nothing that is fading is ever really gone. It just turns into the wind that's the sun along. We are only canyons carved by the things we used to hold, turning every sorrow back into the red and gold. Let it go to stone, let it go to sand. Peace is just the way the desert reclaims the land. I found a hinge that's rusted tight against the frame. It doesn't remember who gave it a name. It's sinking in the floor, joining with the clay, finding such a quiet way to finally walk away. I used to fight the fading, I used to call it loss, until I saw the dignity inside the canyon moss. Sometimes the best part of the building is the light that goes right through, when there's nothing left to block the evening and the blue. It's not an ending, child, it's just the turn of the grain, becoming part of time itself beyond the pride or pain.
Nothing that is fading is ever really gone. It just turns into the wind that's the sun along. We are only canyons carved by the things we used to hold, turning every sorrow back into the red and gold. Let it go to stone, let it go to sand. Peace is just the way the desert reclaims the land. It's all still here, just different now. The dust mowed its dance in the slanted light, where the history holds the day and the night. I've got 1,000 voices on the wooden shelf, each one a secret, a piece of someone's self. Spring is blooming through the window frame, and everything written here has got a name. Oh, memory is the anchor, memory is the thread, a conversation with the ones who've led. You don't have to carry what you haven't lived, just keep the records of the heart as given. It's a quiet legacy written in the ink, giving us a moment just to breathe and think. I found a letter tucked in a faded book, the kind of life that takes a second look. It wasn't glorious, it wasn't wide, but it was the truth that they had kept inside, that they had kept inside. We're all just chapters waiting to be read by the ones who listened to the words we said. So let the pages turn when the wind comes through. There's a piece of grace in everything we do. Nothing is lost if it's held in the hand, just like the blooming land. The story stays even when we're gone, just like the light, just like the morning. Soft rustle of paper. The glass is cold, brass is worn to thin. I wipe the salt off where the seams begin. The fog hangs heavy, gray upon the white. I do not ask the lake to judge the light, to judge the light. It doesn't matter if the hull is steel or wood. I keep the rotation turning like I should. It's a slow, quiet work that nobody sees, just the wind bending over the limestone knees. Keep the gear greased,
keep the lens clean, part of the pulse in a ghost white machine. I am the keeper of the turn and the weight, tending the light by the edge of the state. My father kept the ledger, then he kept the stairs. Now the dust settles soft on the empty chairs. A freighter horn calls from the blind deep blue. I answer with the rhythm that I always knew. It isn't a hunger, it isn't a flame. It's just the duty that doesn't need a name. I'm just the hand that helps the wheel go round, above the water, above the limestone ground. If they see it, they see it. If they don't, they don't. I'll keep the glass clear, 'cause I know I won't stop the turning. Just the turning. Red rock holds the heat long afternoon, beneath the thinning arc of a hollow moon. There's rusted iron etched into the seam, a quiet ghost of someone's labor dream. I walk the path where the dust has claimed the sill. Canyon takes its time and the earth is still. Oh, let the stone accept what comes to be, the shifting weight of our mortality. It isn't lost if it settles in the sand, just passing through the palm of time's own hand. Impermanence is just a softer light before the mesa fades into the night. I watch the scaffolding bow down to wind, a ledger of the places where we've been. Mineral dust is blurring out the wall. The silence catches everything that falls. We built these houses on a patient floor, and now the canyon's opening its door. No need to hold the color or the clay. It all belongs to the settling of the day. The earth reclaims the echo and the bone. We were always meant to leave it, left alone. The wind is steady, and the ground is deep, and the ground is deep. A promise that the canyon's going to keep. Just the canyon keeping time, just the light. left the valley an hour ago, just a ghost in the drifts where the cattle go. That white fence line is buried in white, and the only clock ticking is the moon tonight. I used to call this silence an absence of sound, before I knew what truths could be found in the ground. It takes a long winter to show you the bone, to find the peace in just standing alone. When the noise of the worry finally falls away, what's left is the truth, the light that'll stay. In the vast and the empty, there's nothing to hide, just the calm of the country living inside. Just the calm living inside. There's a rhythm in the cold that a person can trust, a slowing of heartbeat, a shedding of dust. I watch the aurora turn emerald and slow, emerald and slow. A fire that burns in the ice and the snow. No grandstanding feelings, no shouting at clouds, just the quiet of mountains that make me feel proud. It takes a long winter to show you the bone, to find the peace in just standing alone. When the noise of the worry finally falls away, what's left is the truth, the light that'll stay. In the vast and the empty, there's nothing to hide, just the calm of the country living inside. Just clarity now, just the breath, whispered, just the breath. Lantern light is pooling on the floor, a crooked line that's stretching to the door. The salt still hangs inside the cypress knees, a heavy quiet caught between the trees. We're clearing out the splintered cedar frame. The mud is settled now, it knows its name. Nothing's ever finished, nothing's ever gone, it just changes shape before the coming dawn. Oh, let the water find its level in the dark. There's grace in every jagged, there's grace in every jagged, broken mark. The cypress holds the memory of the tide, but nowhere left for all the hurt to hide. You don't have to carry what the wind laid down, just let the stillness heal this holy ground. I keep the keys polished though the wood is damp, and strike a match to feed the wick inside the lamp. The marsh is breathing out the heat of day as all the restless spirits slip away. Some folks call it ruin, some call it end. I call it the mercy of the time we mend. We don't ask the sky just why it had to blow, we just plant the seeds that want to grow. Carving silver through the gray, There's a beauty in the things that didn't stay, a lighter way to walk, a softer way to pray. We're building back with fingers stained by pine, learning how to trace a simpler line. There's grace in every jagged, broken mark. The cypress holds the memory of the tide, with nowhere left for all the hurt to hide. You don't have to carry what the wind laid down, just let the stillness heal this holy ground. Neon signs been flickering since the Tuesday frost, just counting up the travelers that the storm has tossed. I wipe the counter down again, clear away the steam. You're sitting in the corner like you're waking from a dream. Don't worry about the coffee, it's been sitting on the burn along. You look like you've been fighting battles, tired and far from strong. The rain is washing gravel down the mountain slope tonight. You don't have to keep on driving, just stay within the light. You can lay that heavy jacket on the empty chair. There ain't no miles to measure and there's no one waiting there. Survival ain't a marathon, it's learning how to sit when your spirit's frayed and ragged and your candle's barely lit. It's a mercy just to stop, child. It's a blessing just to be. The road will still be there tomorrow, but for now you're safe with me. Watch the pines grow taller while the town grew thin and gray. Seen 1,000 folks like you just passing through the day. Some carry pride like iron, some carry shame like stone, thinking if they stop their wheels they'll end up all alone. But loneliness is honest when they'll end up all alone. But loneliness is honest when the thunder shakes the pain. It's the only way to hear what's getting buried in the rain. You don't have to prove your worth by pacing out the floor. Just bolt the lock and listen, I'll be tending to the door. I reckon you've been running since the leaves turned gold and died, trying to outrun the echoes that you're keeping locked inside. Resting ain't a weakness, it's the mending of the bone. Even mountains need the winter just to call the earth their own. So drink your cup and breathe it in. It's the gentle weight of knowing the quiet has a sound. It's the gentle weight of knowing you don't have to leave the ground. You can lay that heavy jacket on the empty chair. There ain't no miles to measure and there's no one waiting there. Survival ain't a marathon, it's learning how to sit when your spirit's frayed and ragged and your candle's barely lit. It's a mercy just to stop, child. It's a blessing just to be. The road will still be there tomorrow, but for now you're safe with me. Safe with me.
Rain intensifies slightly, then fades with soft drizzle. The clouds are gonna lift. Eventually, you just stay. Train horn echoes in the far distance, fades into silence.
That river knows the weight I've carried to the rail. The years I spent just waiting for the wind to fail. Sunrise hits the floorboards, warms the coffee in my hand. I'm rocking slow and letting all the ghosts just drift away. No more asking shadows just to let me see the day. You don't have to carry every storm forever in your chest. Let the morning light come lay that heavy heart to pain. Grace is just the sunlight reaching through the falling rain. Peace ain't just a promise, child, it's a silence you can keep. The scars I used to hide are just the rings inside the wood. I I wouldn't trade the hard times for a life that was too good. Forgiveness is a window that you finally leave unlatched. It's quiet on this timber, and it's quiet in my soul. I'm learning how the breaking was the way to be made whole. You don't have to carry every storm forever in your chest. Let the morning light come lay that heavy heart to pain. Grace is just the sunlight reaching through the falling rain. Peace ain't just a promise, child, it's a silence you can keep. You don't have to carry every storm forever. Just breathe, child, just breathe. Spent my life in the loud and the fast, trying to build something I knew wouldn't last. But here in the cold where the cedar will grow, I learned all the things that I needed to know. You hold the flame to the grain and the spine, waiting for the wood to agree with the line. It doesn't take force to make it hold true. You gotta bend it gently the way the water would do. You gotta bend it gently the way the water would do. If you fight with the timber will snap. You gotta fold your heart right into the gap. It's the give and the hold that carries the weight. Trust is the balance and patience. My teacher, he sat in the dark of the shed and never told me the words that he said. He just showed me the arc of the cedar and pine, how to follow the curve, how to honor the line. We're all just vessels floating alone, shaped by the water and weathered by stone. Let it be flexible, let it be wide. Keep it open and ready for the shift of the tide. It's better to bend than to break in the blow. Learning the current is the only way to go. What you hold with care will stay on the stream. Trust is the curve, just let it bend.